So which nursing unit or specialty makes the most money? Google is deceiving you. What's good, you guys? NWA here, Nurse Pat. Today we dropping some heat. This one's a banger. This video will cover RN jobs that only require bachelors or associates. So I don't want to include, masters and above, because that's like comparing apples and oranges. In nursing school, you're not taught about salary and wages with the different roles of a nurse because that's just not their goal. The primary goal of the nursing program is to prepare you for your NCLEX and prepare you for their job. These jobs I'm about to talk about, I had no idea made way more than an average nurse. So on Google, if you were to type in highest paid nurse or nurse specialty, if you don't include like the nurse practitioners and all that stuff, what you're mainly going to see is like critical care nurse, ED nurse, etc. And all those numbers are lowball numbers AF. Oh, you calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
In reality, most big hospitals have a universal wage across the board, no matter what unit you're on. This is because nurses are mainly unionized. We have unions that keep the wages pretty much the same no matter where you're at. So how are some nurses at my hospital making 50 to even 100% more than what I am making? And these numbers I'm about to tell you are based on a gross income per year. Well, aside from the primary nursing wage determinants, for instance, the location, the hospital, the shift differentials, and the amount of years of nursing experience, what is the main thing that differentiates how much they take home per year? The nurses that you'll see that make bank are the ones that have on-call, or the ones that typically accrue a lot of overtime. Nurses that are on call are typically not the bedside nurses. These include OR nurses, IR nurses, cath lab nurses, L&D nurses, even dialysis nurses. These on-call benefits that I've heard of are insane. One of my cousins who works at the OR in a different hospital, but in terms of wage and benefits is similar because we're both magnet, said something along the lines of this: if you're on call for a day, you get 50% of what your regular wage is per hour.
What did he say?
So what does that mean if you don't have to come in? This essentially means you're getting 12 free hours of regular pay for doing nothing but being on standby.
That's too easy.
And from what I remember, she said something along the lines of if you are called in, you get, I think, time and a half during those hours, and there's a minimum hour clocked in when she does go in. So that means if she does some cases and they're done early, then she still gets like a free whatever hours, that's time and a half. You could come in and literally do, one case and be done in an hour or less, and they get paid for like, several hours, time and a half. It like sounds too good to be true, but it is true.
Let's go.
Dialysis nurses can receive a lot of overtime as well as on-call hours. Once dialysis started, you can't just start it and leave. You can't just bounce on the patient. You need to make sure the patient finishes the dialysis, is stable, handle the equipment afterwards, and report to the primary RN what has been done. This causes overtime, and typically overtime is either time and a half or double your regular wage. I kid you not, I know multiple nurses who work in different fields that I'm mentioning that have been totally transparent with me with their wages. A dialysis nurse told me that she was consistently making more than 200K per year. Yo, she was straight flexing on me.
Huh?
Patrick, I make a lot of money. Louis Vuitton lunch bag. She got that cara in the country crock butter container. just kidding. Real talk though, she told me how much she made. An OR nurse also told me that she was consistently making more than 200K per year. And this one takes the cake. One of my aunties works at a PACU, and she puts herself on call for damn near every day of the week that she's not working. She's been working for a while though. I want to say well more than 25 years. And she's one of the top earners in her hospital. She's consistently making more than 300K per year. How crazy is that? All these nurses are nurses working at great hospitals in the Bay Area. So this is sort of like cream of the crop, okay? So If you're in a different location, especially different states, different country, these numbers might not be the same for you. But this is just in comparison to me and my location. These numbers per year are like way more than your average nurse over here. So what's the caveat here? The sacrifice will be part of your work-life balance. If you're gonna be on call, you have to be in a close radius to the hospital just in case if you're called.
Always there when you call. Always on time.
You gotta be ready to go. So if you're spending time with your family, friends, loved ones, you need to be prepared to be taken away at any given moment. Now, I haven't worked in any of these specific areas as a nurse personally, but I have been on call as a home health and hospice nurse in the past. Honestly, on the days that I am on call, I always hope that I'm not called. And sometimes I'm not. But there have been a ton of times where I was with my family, friends, my significant other, and they would call. And it would just be like the most inconvenient time ever. It was like a nuisance, right? And those times are important to me. I don't want to be a workaholic. That's just not my lifestyle. I care about work-life balance. That's that boomer mentality. I'm sorry, no offense.
Huh?
Aside from that, all these jobs seem like amazing roles. And honestly, along my career path, I want to try some of them out. Like especially cath lab and IR. But in order to do that, you do need like ICU, CCU experience. So I'm kind of working towards that, see how I like that, and I'll branch towards other things. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Did that content surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. If you're feeling my content, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe as always. Watch some of my other videos if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, stay humble. I'm out.